This program was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by annual financial support from viewers like you.
It's exactly to the depths of what the country is about. It's exactly why people left the comfort and security of their home and went in these little wooden dangerous vessels and through horrible storms and landed on a completely alien planet to them. That's the essence of what the United States and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence means to me.
And I'm happy to be talking to you about happiness. In 1776, the Declaration of Independence of this new country said that the rights of the individual, the definition of a human being, was to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, of course, we want to keep people from violating others' life, health, freedom, yeah, but the notion of a psychological concept of total individuality, because pursuit of happiness. Now you notice that almost every religion and almost every political organization tries to make you feel unhappy. Like, when was the last time you saw the Pope just jumping around, strumming on a harp? Or can you imagine the Ayatollah Khomeini, grinning and smiling? And no, to them life is unhappy, and it's the duty of the church and the state to make you unhappy. But here in this new land, for the first time, the notion of pursuit of happiness. Now, see, the government can't give you happiness. It's DIY, do it yourself.
Sure, I'm picking up on vices.
Vice, virtue. It's best not to be too moral. You cheat yourself out of too much life. Aim above morality. If you apply that to life, then you're bound to live it fully.
Once I was the sort of person who invests material objects with sentimental value. Now I no longer have those objects, but I have the sentiments yet. I live from the refuse of others. I'm a scavenger. Yeah, this is really too late in the day for this stuff, because if they were here, they're pretty much gone. Oh, yeah. Breakfast, anybody? I didn't want to panhandle when I was homeless. It may have been that I thought I didn't provide a sufficiently sympathetic image. I was not making enough to support myself, and I couldn't find another job. Otherwise, the idea of even looking into the dumpster, I lived in apartments where I used dumpsters, but even noticing what was there, it was like flushing the toilet. You just didn't look. You threw the stuff in there, and that was it. At first, the new scavenger is filled with disgust and self-loathing. Every grain of rice seems to be a maggot. Everything seems to stink. He can wipe the egg yolk off a pound can, but he cannot erase from his mind the stigma of eating garbage. Oh, fireplace ashes. These pears are actually pretty good. I think we're going to have them. Just cut off a couple of bad spots. Let's move on. Dumpster shyness passes with experience. The diver, finding all manner of good things that are his for the taking. Here we go. He begins to understand. People throw away perfectly good stuff. a lot of perfectly good stuff. You know, it looks perfectly good to me. Nothing like some fresh garbage first thing in the morning. Lisbeth, want a dumpster meatball? A spicy dumpster meatball? Yes, I knew you did. Oh, they're clasped. That's too bad. I wear these for Halloween. Okay, here's the technique that I use with this thing next to catch the plastic with the rubber tip. Where I had a cane, it was a lot easier to keep that hook on it. Let's see here how we can get on their mailing list. AT&T wants that. Dumpster diving is outdoor work, often surprisingly pleasant. Scavenging, more than most other pursuits, tends to yield returns in some proportion to the effort and intelligence brought to bear. It's not entirely predictable. Things of interest turn up every day, and some days there are finds of great value. Well, it's a tape player and stereo. More than likely, one channel's out on the earphones, and that's why this was discarded. We're going to take this home and see what it's really like. After having survived nearly 10 years of government service, I find it refreshing to have work that rewards initiative and effort. I'm always very pleased when I can turn up exactly the thing I most wanted to find. Since I found the computer in the dumpster, I'm making enough money from my writing to keep us off the street. There's some close months, and there's some months that bills get put off to the next month. I think it's possible I'll be back on the streets before I die. You know, I think that's a distinct possibility. I find from the experience of scavenging two rather deep lessons. The first is to take what you can use and let the rest go by. Now I hardly pick up a thing without envisioning the time I will cast it aside. This, I think, is a healthy state of mind. The second lesson is the transience of material being. I do not suppose that ideas are immortal, but certainly mental things are longer lived than other material things. The piled up appliances we see in the dump aren't really crushed dreams, you know, unless people had to make it that way. Unless people invest themselves into the material things, you know, they don't have to feel unhappy to be deprived of them. The things I find in dumpsters, the love letters and the rag dolls of so many lives, remind me of this lesson. Almost everything I have now has already been cast out at least once, proving that what I own is valueless to someone. Anyway, I find my desire to grab the gaudy bauble has been largely sated. I think this is an attitude I share with the very wealthy. We both know there's plenty more where what we have came from. Between us are the rat race millions who have confounded themselves with the objects they grasp and who nightly scavenge the cable channels looking for they know not what. I am sorry for them.
Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I can't wait to look in the mirror, 'cause I get better looking each day.
You know, when you look at your nose, you really want to just refine the profile so that you look like you without this prominent feature. You want it to blend in with your face so it looks like something that you were born with. You may remember when we talked about your nose, we said that it's as bad to have a nose that looks like it's done as it is to have the original problem.
Sure. And if you even think about getting your nose done, you really have to think about living with it for the rest of your life and understanding that the same nose that looks real cute when you're 15 is going to look so great when you're 40. And find somebody who will do it natural. And natural means flawed now, too. My nose isn't perfect.
You really want to maintain that ethnic variation that people have.
Yes, I still look like a Jap.
And very often, by doing people's nose, we'll have to contour other things. We'll sometimes contour their neck or their chin to go along with it, because it has to balance the whole.
That gets me to interesting. Do you tell them you have to contour it, or do you wait for them to tell you?
I want the patients to have done what they perceive bothers them.
But I'm doing the best that I can.
I think human beings by nature are on a quest from the time they're born. I mean, first you're on a quest for, for food, for nurture, for, parental love, for all these, these wonderful things that you need, the basic needs. And then as you get older, I think you begin to look for things that are more esoteric, sort of otherworldly, things that you can't see, you can't touch, but that you know are there and that will fill a void in your life, the void that everybody seems to have. The year was 1966, and it was fall, and CBS came into town to do a documentary called 16 in Webster Groves about our neighborhood. And we were all very excited, and gosh, we're going to be on TV, and gosh, our neighborhood was going to be out there in front of everybody, and we were so proud. I was in the film.
Take a look in your history book, and you'll see why we should be proud. Hats off to America, the home of the free and the brave. If this is flag waving, do you know of a better flag to wave? Where in the world is there a better flag to wave? Oh yes, we had a lot.
Oh gosh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, happiness to a 16-year-old when I was 16 was being liked by your friends, getting good grades, making your parents happy, being a good girl. It was good for what it was, but it was very shallow to me looking back, but it was part of adolescence. There was a dinner table sequence at my house with my parents, and I was angry.
I'm going to say something. The other night when I told you, when one of my friends asked me if I could come over and spend the night because she was having about 3 other girls over, and you wouldn't let me go. And I was really kind of mad at that because I figured that I'm old enough now that I know how to take care of myself, and if I want to go over there, and if they're going to do something bad, fine, I'll get up and come home. But it seems to me that you just don't trust me that far. And that made me angry, and that's the first thing I've been angry with you about in a long time.
Well, honey, what night was it?
Friday.
It happened to be a girl who does not have any discipline at home, whose
mother.
I know that she is wild, and I know it for fact. It is not rumor.
I think you're irked a little bit. But you just have to go along with the policy, honey, because they set policies all through life, and you just have to kind of go along with them.
It's just living up to moral ideals and standards, that's all.
I know about rules now. I know about rules because I'm a big girl now. I'm almost 44. And as we all know, they're all around you. You can't get away from them, and you can choose to obey them, or you could choose not to, or you can choose to change them. I went to Indiana University. I met people, kids my age, from all over the country, big cities, most of them. They were politically active, aware, and involved, and very angry. We were activists. We went to the clinic at IU, and everybody had blood taken out, and we all dumped it on the steps of the administration building to protest the napalm and the burning. But I still feel that my generation helped to stop that war. I left Indiana after my sophomore year and decided that I wanted to see the real world. So I worked during the summers at Muni Opera, and I considered myself very lucky. This particular season, 1972, and we were doing Anything Goes. And I was in the chorus, and we had a terrible accident. Opening night, Ann Miller was hit by one of the steel booms here. And the next day, she was in the hospital. We were coming to work, the chorus members, across the parking lot, and Ed Greenberg, the producer, said, hey, anybody here know any of Ann Miller's lines or any of the songs? So Ed said, well, come with me. And he gave me a script, and he said, start learning lines. And at 5 o'clock, they told me I was going on. In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking, but now God knows anything goes. Good authors, too, who once knew better words, now only use 4-letter words writing prose. Anything goes. Dennis!
Andy, how are you? Oh, God, it's good to see you.
What's this with a suit?
I know, can you imagine?
Gosh.
Remember when we first knew each other? When we used to know each other? My gosh, you were in the chorus.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And you were dressing.
I was dressing that night, that's
You were
right.
dressing
the
that
night
night.
of the, your start, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess your big start. So how's things going with you?
Good, good.
Yeah?
I'm in seminary.
I know, I've been reading about you.
And
Family, I know.
12-year-old and a 2-year-old.
So how is life? Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm really
Good.
happy. I'm really
Good.
happy. You know how happiness develops.
It certainly
You know,
does.
when you're young, when you're 22, 24, you know, and you're looking forward to a life in show business and you think, wow, this is great, you know, maybe I'll be a star, maybe I'll be on Broadway, and then again, you know, maybe I won't, but wow, the bright lights and everything. And now it's totally, happiness has taken on a completely different flavor now. I am married to a wonderful man named David Roberts, and we got married in 1978. We've been married 15 years. And we live in Rochester, New York, and we have 2 beautiful children, Oliver, 12 and a half, and Julia, 2.
Hi, Nan.
Julia is she is the treasure of my old age. And David and I didn't think we'd be able to have another child. And I started divinity school and got pregnant with her. And she is such an incredible joy. I have 2 sisters. One sister, Stacy, has had many miscarriages. My other sister, Lori, was married and had a beautiful son who lived for 10 days. And I watched these girls go through incredibly painful experiences. But because of their faith and their optimism and their grace, they handled the death of these children in such a beautiful way and maintained their faith, their love of God, and their belief in happiness, and being with them in spirit and seeing how they reacted to this incredible pain was what really called to me. It was God, through them, calling me to serve. Ginny Bennett is a friend of mine who has been a priest for 4 years. And the kind of priest that she is exactly what I would like to be.
I can tell you it will not be easy at all. How do you manage, how do you think you're going to be able to juggle not only the education and the family and the horrible process that this can be?
I have unshakable faith, and it seems to me that nothing that persons can do is going to daunt me. I've been in show business too long. You know, there's rejection. There is nothing is going to shake my core, the core of me. Looking back on Webster Groves and growing up here, there was so much to be said for it. The nurturing, the love, the sense of neighborhood, the sense of community. Kids, a lot of them, most of them don't have that anymore. And that's what we had in Webster Groves that was important. It gave us that time to figure out who we were, to forge an identity.
Do you have a feeling, Patty, that this is kind of deja vu?
Yeah, except I don't think we had chicken, and I know we had peas. I know we had peas because I was pushing them around on my plate.
You know, I was just thinking, it really is interesting to be sitting here 27 years later doing the same thing. And I was thinking about changes, and I don't have any feeling of a lot of difference. I mean, I think Patty is still the same person, grown up very well.
I've always thought of myself as being a really special part of your lives. Because, you know, it's always been there.
Well, we're always there.
I know, and
Thank you, darling.
I want to thank you. I love you, Daddy. I love you, Mom.
Yeah.
Thanks.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are.
And I look out and I see so many people who feel they can't make a difference when it just takes one word sometimes. You know, just saying you're worth something. You're important to God.
When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true.
When you wish upon
Todo lo que yo hago, lo hago con mis manos. Esta es felicidad. Mi barro, mis horitas de barro, con la mano hago todo. Mi barro yo, lo trabajo. I gather my clay from the surrounding mountains. That is happiness. Being able to do something with my hands. Ahí viene felicidad. Ahí viene la felicidad. Esa es felicidad. There is happiness. Being able to share with this elderly man, such a wonderful person. John is a writer. John, this young lady would like to talk to you. Tell them where is happiness, John? They're looking for happiness, and I'm telling them that happiness is here.
It really is.
Tell them all about it. How do you find happiness here?
Well, you come and you
look into the camera and tell.
You come and you get used to the weather, which is always reported in detail, and it doesn't mean a thing.
Angel.
Leslie. Yvette. Bernice.
Maurice.
Annelise. Brandon.
Say your name.
Thomas.
Why does that movement describe who you are?
Well, because most of the time I'm sad.
In pursuit of happiness.
In pursuit of happiness.
To hear my voice.
To hear my voice.
That is another way of giving happiness.
That is another way of giving happiness.
To communicate.
To communicate.
From my gut.
From my gut.
From my heart.
From my heart.
And from the way I really feel.
And from the way I really feel.
Voices of youth.
Voices of youth.
The voice that I am.
The voice that I am.
The voice that I hope to maintain in my life.
The voice that I hope to maintain in my life.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who am I?
Who am I?
Who would I want to be?
Who would I want to be?
Malcolm is caught by his mother. Slapped. Yeah, that's what my mother does.
I don't want to get slapped.
It's not you, it's Malcolm, okay? Malcolm, what are you doing?
Mind yours, go home.
You think you big and bad because you selling drugs on the corner that don't even make that much money?
Hey, what you talking about? Yo, I get more income today than what you get in your whole lifetime.
And what do you mean, go home?
Mom,
okay,
go,
I
go.
remember that.
Go home, Mom.
You said
go home,
not
Mom.
home. It's
Have a
not
nice
yours
day, Mom.
anymore.
Don't
It's
try
my
to diss.
home.
Oh, don't try to diss me in front of my boys.
Freeze.
I don't even get an apology.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Too bad, I don't want it now.
Oh, I forget you too, Dad.
What do you mean forget you two? You supposed to be begging me. If you want to stay in my house, dealing drugs.
Hey, yo, I got my boys to hang out with.
You
all
got
right?
your boys, and what happened when they don't like you anymore?
So I kicked their out.
What happened if you don't make enough money as you think you making?
Trust me, the business is great.
Right, the business will be great for now. But what about then? You'll be living in some kind of cardboard box. asking
Freeze.
people
Deal with the conflict differently.
I'm sorry.
Too bad, I don't want to hear it now.
No hug, Mom?
No, what do you mean no hug, Ma? You just stand on this corner yelling at me.
Yo, I'm gonna do you.
Continue.
I'm gonna do you a favor and stop doing drugs, all right?
Freeze. Mother, only. Stay frozen. Sun frozen.
So you're doing me a favor, huh? Stop dealing drugs? How about you do it for yourself? Make yourself proud, as well as your mother.
Freeze, mother. Son.
Wow.
Freeze. End scene. To the table, right. A playwright wants an audience, others to know and to feel the tragedy, the pain, the joy, and the truth as we know it.
One day there was a young boy named Daryl. He loved and respected his older brother, Bruce, but Bruce was a drug dealer, and Daryl wanted to be just like him. But Daryl didn't know that Bruce was also using drugs. We continue.
Keep talking.
One day, Bruce left Daryl in the house. And Daryl went looking inside Bruce's room. And he found all types of drugs in his room. His brother told him not to touch him.
I didn't tell you to come into my room.
But
I
I
didn't tell you to
was
come
just
into
looking
my
around.
room. What are you looking in my room for? I don't go in your room and disrespect your space.
Because I don't got nothing to look for in my room.
What are you looking in my room for?
I was just looking.
You took something out of my room.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Mom, you
Go
gotta do
check his
something
room.
with him.
Go
He
check
thinks
his
he-
room.
Just because he thinks he, I don't know what's
First
wrong with
of all,
him.
you shouldn't be in his room. Second of all, I'm gonna go in your room.
No, you ain't. I'm 15 years old. You ain't coming in my
I
room.
don't care how old you are.
Do you
but
pay
I'm
rent here?
I bet you he got something in
I'll
his pockets.
go
Shut up.
get
Check his pockets.
everything out of my
Check his
room and
pockets.
move out of your house if that's what you want. Because I'm not
Be
going to have
gone.
you
Go ahead,
in
then.
my room.
Get out.
Hey,
Bye.
shh. You
You're
be
lost.
quiet.
You're
Hush your
lost.
mouth.
I'm chilling here.
Hey, I'm your father.
We work so hard to give you what you want and what you need, and this is what you pay us back.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm worried about him, honey.
Do you want to be a lowlife in the streets?
You want to be like your brother?
I don't know yet.
You know, you should be something of your life. Get out the ghetto, man. Don't be like us. I mean, we struggle, but we still haven't succeed nowhere.
Maybe I don't want to make something out of myself.
You don't see
You're
it.
right. It's your decision.
Freeze the scene. Okay? Now, I want you to create a character based on your own experiences. Let us know the problems, conflicts, resolutions, dreams, wishes, nightmares. And just go and write for 10 minutes. Do not stop.
It was an ugly, sad afternoon while I was at work. I had on my mind about my mother, but the first thing I tried to do was not think about it, for the reason that it hurted me more knowing my mom was suffering and dying. At times, I look happy, but looks can be very deceiving. I think back and catch myself washing the dishes, but breaking it out in tears. For now, I leave it up to Jesus to give me support and mentality to keep on further to life.
I just want to burst, explode, and one day the wrong person is going to try to help me, and that's when I'm going to blow up. At school, the kids think that I'm a punk and that I'm scared of everyone. I wish they'd just leave me alone. I don't need anyone. Why don't people understand? I'd wish my life ended here. I have no future. There's not one thing I'm looking forward to. Not one thing. I wish there was a way I could tell people this and make them understand. One of these days, maybe, just maybe, I'll find someone that will understand. But I don't think I'll let that happen.
I know I am supposed to move on and pursue my dreams, but it just doesn't feel right. When my mother was alive, I was one of the happiest people because I knew if I had a bad day, if I just wanted to get something off my chest, she was always there to listen and make me feel better. Everyone tells me that they know what I'm going through, but only people who were close to their mother as I was know what I'm going through. There were certain days I felt like killing myself, but I knew my mother would have wanted me to live and make the best out of my life. When I'm alone in my house, I can hear my mother calling my name, asking me for help. I knew for some reason that she was going to die. She told me that she was not going to leave me until I could take care of myself and my little brothers. I didn't get a chance to tell her I loved her.
Yesterday, when Thomas finished writing that, he said to me, in all honesty, I didn't get a chance to do that. And I said to him, yes, you did. You just did on that piece of paper. Real drama, real theater comes from real emotions like this. Take it from your life. It has far more meaning, believe me. And yes, sometimes it hurts, and you will cry, your guts will hurt, you will laugh. That is why they say that theater rests between comedy and tragedy, and God knows life certainly does.
I once had a dream that one day I could be the best basketball player. Then I woke up and went on and told my mother how I felt about it. My mother told me, why are you telling me this?
Scene one happens where?
Basketball.
Yup.
They call me home. The boys, the guys are coming home.
There we go, there it is. Violence, drugs, and self-destruction no matter what. Violence is always in the streets, even on TV. No wonder the kids always end up cursing.
Next scene.
It's in the, I guess it's the living room?
The dorm living room.
I'm on the phone.
I understand that it is hard to believe that society has changed like this, and especially the future, but you better believe it. You know, it's not only in the ghetto. The rich also bring it to our homes.
Get off the phone.
If we try, we can make this place a better place.
Please stop this noise.
On the tips of the nose, we call it Billy Cat. His cousin Claude, and he had this,
It smells food.
long-haired
I'm not
Persian.
bothered to be putting out before. Stop dribbling that ball. It's making too much noise.
Staj, why is Rashid so quiet? He's been here for weeks now. He seems so sad.
I don't know. That's what I was saying. If you want, I'll ask him. Rashid, come here, please. Oh, he ain't coming. Well, that's the way he is.
Why are you always so sad, depressed like?
Most of my time is spent thinking about my mother. How she died, and why I wasn't there to help. And why I feel so bad about it. I knew for some reason she was gonna die. I never got to tell her that I loved her.
Finally, after 8 months, I let out my true feelings about my mother's death. I used to cry every night looking out my window. I always want somebody to talk to who understands my feelings.
Damn. Why do people have to die? I wish everyone could live and have all the time they want
not to take life for granted, but cherish it in their own way. And we live in a world where no one will be misjudging another, and everyone will be friends.
Why do I have to live in this environment?
To hell with this environment.
We could all make it if we try. I know I can make it, because it's all up to me, and it always will be up to me.
What do you want to be?
Basketball player. And anything I want to be, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
I'm Mariana Huffington. I'm a writer, the mother of 2 little girls, and the wife of Michael Huffington, a congressman from the 22nd District in California. In the last century, the pursuit of happiness has been reduced to the pursuit of pleasure. And I'm hoping in this essay to redefine it, to include the pursuit of a personal spiritual fulfillment and the pursuit of service to others. As Albert Schweitzer said, I don't know what your destiny is going to be, but what I do know is that the only ones among you who will find happiness are those who have sought and found ways to help others. One of the things that I feel very passionate about is the need to redefine individual responsibility to include social responsibility. That each one of us is responsible not just for ourselves and our families, but for our community, however we define that. So that commitment to some form of service is, I think, particularly important for those of us who have been blessed with a lot. I love that quote in the Bible that says, "From those to whom much is given, much more will be demanded." And I think as a culture, we need to redefine what are our obligations when we have been given or created wealth, when we have been given special talents or community influence. They are not ours to squander in self-amusement. I really deeply believe that they are ours to hold in trust for the sake of others, and that the more we get involved in giving them to others, the more we will connect with a fountain of joy in our own lives. Here in our own community, I started a partnership for the children of Santa Barbara County, and the philosophy behind it is that through private initiatives, we can take care of those in need without having the need for government interference. If we really want to reform the welfare state, we need to provide alternatives for taking care of those in need.
We put people to work. We don't say go off and get out of our face, you know, you're too old. We see value in the elderly. There's an awful lot of value that is being wasted, and we try to utilize what they have to give us. One of the ladies that comes to mind is 102 years old this year. From the time she was 80, she's made 921 dresses for children. We have the gentleman that retired from Delco that used to be engineers. They're now engineering doll beds and wheelbarrows for children. There's such joy in being able to contribute to your community, and they do that.
And in the partnership, we have a real entrepreneurial model. Our working board consists of people we call entrepreneurs for children. They come up with ideas, very creative ideas, very different often, of what we can do for the children of the county. Another woman on our board has started the whole idea of community gardens, where children who are at risk or teenagers at risk can get involved with the earth and with producing something. Her slogan is, if you're 7 years old, it's hard to bring home the bacon, but you can bring home the zucchini.
Neighborhood children come in and simply pitch in. They like the bugs, they like to weed, they like to be given responsibility. And then we also have the children of the families who work here, and we sort of care for them together as though we were one large family. And these children, even if they haven't grown the zucchinis or the tomatoes, they can pick them and take them home. They feel very good about themselves.
At the same time, there is a thin line between generosity and do-goodism. And I feel we cross that line when we become more interested in the kind of charity events that get us headlines in the style section of the local papers than in the kind of giving that genuinely makes a difference in the lives of people in the community.
It seems like as this country was being formed and built, that it was built on a character of giving and helping. We would help families, help neighbors, help friends. And entrepreneurs and philanthropists would strongly support the arts and everything else in the communities. Do you think that as we're making the shift of bigger and bigger government, as Washington decides to take more and more control, that we as individuals are losing more and more of this spirit of giving?
Oh, absolutely. I think the spirit of giving will always be there. And that's why I call it an instinct, you know, the fourth instinct. But what is happening is that it's not being encouraged, it's not being promoted. Instead, what is being promoted is a feeling of despair, as though individuals are totally powerless and that only government can find solutions to those problems. Even during the 12 years of republicanism, all the indicators of a bigger government went up. Therefore, something else is going on, which is not susceptible just to facts and statistics. And what I believe is going on, and what I try to talk about today, is the fact that there was something missing in the alternative vision. And that something missing is, how do we care about those in need? So I saw a man, a very prominent man in our community, who went there to put his 3 hours in, you know, because it was Christmas and he wanted to do his duty, and he suddenly became engaged. Suddenly something happened to him. You could feel that his heart was touched, that he could see that there were all those people there who were in real need, who could go through Christmas without food or without clothes. And because of that private effort, they would have clothes and food and toys for their children. And what happened to him was very significant and very moving, because that's really my dream of what can happen all around the country. It's not just people giving checks, although we will welcome them. It's not just people giving 2 hours in out of duty. It's suddenly when that magical moment happens, when somebody recognizes their interconnectedness with everyone else, when they recognize that they themselves are doing something to help that mother get a toy for her 5-year-old that otherwise wouldn't have a toy for Christmas. So that's really my hope.
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches, I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. So Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? That's it.
Dichosa means real happy. You have everything. You are full of life. You are really, really, really happy. Not only happy, more than happy. Dichosa, that means that you are singled out for what you are. You have the recognition of the people, not because, you know, like something superfluous, but the recognition of the people because they see in you a server, a people that is there to help.
Hoy canto al Dios del pueblo en mi guitarra, un canto de mujer que se libera. Dios se solidariza con mi causa y me consagra portavoz de la esperanza. Dichosa mujer.
Rosa Marta Zárate Macías, nuestra primera invitada en ¿Quién es quién en la comunidad?
De decir que soy una mujer que vino a este país como todos llegamos, que tuvimos que aprender el idioma, que buscamos dónde realizarnos. Creo que he llegado a ser una mujer que me he realizado como persona. I was born in Guadalajara, Mexico. I entered the convent when I was 19. I think it was one of the happiest times in my life. You know, the place is full of holiness, simplicity, and it helped me. I think it was putting the base for what I am right now.
Padre, Hijo.
When I came to this country, I used to go to the parish, small little parish church, and began to see that it was kind of very cold, atmosphere. So I began to ask permission to the priest to play the organ and begin to sing songs like Adiós Reina del Cielo, very old traditional hymns. And the people liked them and they start coming into church. Necesitas mis manos, mi cansancio, que a otros descanse, amor que quiera seguir amando. We were not allowed to speak Spanish. We didn't have services in Spanish. We were like second-class citizens. And very soon, the Chicana movement began to kind of attract me, and we were marching to have some programs in Spanish. And finally, we got this spot in the diocese, and they asked me to take the position as a diocesan coordinator for the Spanish-speaking community. And from that time on, I had to learn how to drive. I went to the Imperial Valley, to the desert, to the ocean, to Blythe, to Arizona, organizing the Spanish-speaking community. Dichosa mujer, la que sabe ser fiel al quehacer de implantar. Aquí está. La que sabe ser fiel al quehacer de implantar. For the road. No. La mujer que hace opción por la causa de Dios, por la ley del amor. ¿Qué queremos decir,
No callamos más nuestra verdad.
Okay.
Hoy gritan su verdad y han dicho basta ya.
Justicia y libertad. Vamos campesinas, vamos a luchar por nuestros ideales de justicia y libertad. Ya se agarraron ahí, así la segunda, ¿eh? Ok, pues escríbanle. Vamos a recobrar nuestra América robada. Vamos que nuestro andar no tiene ya regreso. Que lo grite la madre liberada, el hombre temeroso que ha dicho su palabra, el joven que ya llega y que se une a nuestra marcha, que me juzgue la historia. Sembremos nueva aurora, a recorrer caminos, a forjar nuestra historia. Hola muchachos, ¿cómo están? Nosotros andamos organizando trabajadores del campo para clases de inglés y con otras clases también de información de servicios de inmigración, todo ese tipo de cosas. También enseñamos a leer y escribir, si no saben leer y escribir español.
No, hace 20 años a la escuela.
¿A qué estudiaste?
Yo estudié ingeniería de arquitectura en México.
Fíjate nomás.
Mire, aquí ando.
Y los que fuimos a la universidad son los que andamos tomando conciencia. The hierarchy, the church and the bishop and some of the priests began to feel, I think, threatened. They began to feel threatened because of the work we were doing. The fact that we were organizing the people not only on the faith and prayer dimension, but on the dimension of economic development, political involvement, and social analysis. The priests began to say that we were involved with theology of liberation, and I was expelled. I was expelled in a very unjust way. Todo esto pasó con nosotros, nosotros lo vimos, lo miramos, con suerte lamentosa. I went into a kind of a depression of crying and sleeping for about 6 months. I thought of committing suicide. I thought of killing people, killing the bishop. I cursed. I said blasphemy. It was kind of a real deep anger within my body, The happiest moment is when I decided to take the bishop to court, because I will never experience the freedom I got rid of fear, and I felt like wings, like saying, well, and in the song that I sing, who will say that I am a fallen tree? Who will say that I am a bird with no wings? Who will say that I am a rose without thorns? Who will say that? The bishop? No. Let my people say who I am. I'm going to sing with you some of the songs that have helped me to be who I am and to make the choices I have to make in my life to come. Años de caminar, siglos de historia, de mujeres valientes que han tomado con decisión, firmeza, fe y anhelo, muchachas, la vida de la juventud junto al pueblo. Años de lucha, huellas que no se borran, holocausto de siglos que no acaba. I was encouraging myself with the songs that I composed at the time, but at the same time I was thinking of all the women and all the people in Hispanic ministry and all the people, the Mexicanos that, like myself, when they said, it's enough, no more. And I say, no. No one can take my happiness away from me. No one in this country will put up their feet on me. I am a woman of faith, of courage, of love, and commitment. I am Rosa Marta, and no one will take away what I am. Llevas un corazón que nunca cesa de latir por romper tantas cadenas. Allá en el alma tú siembras los recuerdos que hablan del grande amor que te ha encendido, el que te anima siempre a dar la vida por la liberación de nuestra tierra. Ay, la, 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 la. So the songs that I wrote in that moment express the happiness that you experience when you say, no, no one can take happiness from me. No one can destroy me. And the process of healing, I went to look for ways to help, keep on helping the community. And I became the co-founder of Librería del Pueblo Incorporated. People began to come in and join into this organization. And in less than 2 years, we had social services, summer youth programs for high-risk teenagers. We have given classes, English classes, literacy in Spanish. We have served in less than 6 years over 15,000 people. I think that I will never regret what has happened to me when I came to this country. And in the midst of all the contradictions of this big country, regardless of all what it's doing to us as a people, I think that we have spaces where we can kind of keep that growth of happiness within ourselves, not alone, but as a people. Bendita será la mujer, la mujer, la mujer.
I think that aging can be a very happiness-inspiring period. I think senility has been given a bad name by old people. It's wasted on old people. As I get older, I don't worry about some of the small things. I don't give a damn as much. Of course, short-term memory loss, it's almost like being stoned, but long-term perspective.
decided then that I enjoyed being dead.
I understand. A lot of people enjoy being dead, but they're not dead, really. They're just backing away from life. Reach out, take a jump, get hurt even. Play as well as you can. Go, team, go! Give me an L, give me an I, give me a V, give me an E. L-I-V-E, live! Otherwise, you got nothing to talk about in the locker room.
Funding for this program was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by annual financial support from viewers like you.